Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, so I did a little bit of work after last stream to get the map data indexed by arc end time, which was a little bit particular. And then I went ahead and made layer groups for each age. So that you can see it in biome context. But it's still boxes. We don't know if this is like berry bushes or what. So I processed sprites on my other computer, where Node Canvas actually works, from one tech. So we'll have to see how well that works out. So the easiest way to do this would be to do like a positioned image layer. I don't know if it's going to give me any control over sprite placement. I suspect that's going to be horribly unperformant, and we're going to have to only do that at relatively high zoom. Though actually, that would actually be more straightforward to do as an Elm thing, wouldn't it? But how would I bridge that to a leaflet tile? I just have to have a separate Elm app. Well, I guess each tile will know the set of things it needs to load. But I'm almost going to need like a loading manager for that. I mean, I could take the set of all things seen in all logs and just set up image references, hidden image references for them. Alright, what does our key placement layer look like? We have to fetch, split, and then we do a draw. But we've already created a tile as a canvas object. Or we don't necessarily have all objects. We will get an ID out of here at present. What is the general technique for this? Image 1. New image. When the image loads, okay, so that's how we know it's loaded. To be before you set the source. Okay, so we don't have to load these as DOM elements. We can just create images. But we will have to keep an index of all of the images we want to load. Alright, so I'm probably going to keep this as... and we'd eventually like to have some sort of color map on this. But I think we're going to keep this as is. Key placement. And that's going to be with images. Not sure what else to call that. And I probably need to get this set up to auto-load something here. So when we get when we get arcs, update arcs, base layer by time, update.now. So we want to take that and do arcs.length .end. That seems to be a nope. Okay, what is update arcs? Oh, length -1. And this must be the wrong time unit. No. Oh, you're all MSN. I was looking at something else. Okay. And I mean, any town works. Now, can I get this? Yeah, okay, cool. We probably are going to be getting errors, though. Alright, key placement. Pixel. We need a new version of this. And maybe I can eventually find some more commonality among some of these things. Alright, create a tile. It is going to be a canvas. But we're going to probably use this one for, well, okay, that's a problem. It's going to try to fetch this thing's tile coordinates. No, I guess we just, but that means I have to make a canvas that's actually much, much larger. If we're zoomed in. I mean, I guess the easy way would be to actually make all the other zoom level layers of tiles. Although, well, there's going to be a couple of problems with the simple way of doing it. Or do I try a version that's actually object placement? Um, because if I continue using the same tile data, then I'm going to have to do that transformation every time we fetch something. We're going to have to sort of go back to pixel coordinates and then back to tile coordinates at the other scale. This is a direct translation? Or do we just try to draw this and see how, well, I have to increase the size of the canvas, you're not going to see anything. Do I still have... Yeah, I have a constant tile width here. In order to handle smaller tiles, rather, with smaller tiles object-wise, I would have to bring in a bunch of this stuff. Let's see, and this did each zoom level and then each server. And then, okay, so then that has to be parametered here. I mean, the good news is that all of each of these directories will get, or each of these files will get smaller. There'll just be lots and lots of them. So I'm going to output you currently into a different directory for now. As we test this out. Right tiles. So that should mostly work. Undefine zoom levels. Oops. We're processing all of them. Oh. Right, because we're only doing one right now. And we expect a bunch more of much smaller files. All right, how much? The 2 megabytes, huh? So it's the same amount of data moving around. And if we were to continue this, I'm not sure what our, well, I think you almost have to go down to 30, 31 or 32. That's my scale spreadsheet. That was originally in... Is that one life mapping? Dang, I don't remember where I put that document. Somewhere I had a spreadsheet with all the scales worked out. And I don't know where else I would have put that. What was I doing anything related to mapping? Alright, well, that's going to have to be a search for another time, I guess. Alright, so if scale 24 is 256 tiles, at 1 pixel per tile, at 2 pixels per tile, for yep. All right, 30. So 30, yeah, it actually is 32 to get to, well, that's not, doesn't seem quite right. Well, no, tiles are 128, not 256. So 31 is where it's 1 pixel, 1 pixel. Now, those are going to be really tiny data files at that point. Maybe that doesn't make sense. I can probably scale the images a little bit. All right, we can let that crunch in the background. So if we can do that, and you actually are going to be these coordinates. My start X, start Y. Alright, so this is not going to be an image data operation. It is going to be a little bit like that. And we can bootstrap off this a little bit. Now, how do we calculate a rect for this? So it's going to look a little bit like, it's maybe like draw rect. Oh, this is a array that we're using stuff into there. I actually need to do something different with that. I can probably put that into an RGB. CSS color. Oh, that's the interpolation strings. Which I'm never sure about the usability of. Plus comma, plus color 2. Now, in canvas coordinates, where the heck are we? I guess it has something to do with my index that I took out. I think I skipped over key placement pixel. Hey Daimushin, how's it going? With this entire method. Hope I didn't break anything else. I think when you edit the wrong code. We are trying to take this stuff, which is arbitrarily colored map objects, and I moved off of it. What did I call it? And get it to use this stuff to make them actual objects. And we're just kind of baby stepping our way up there. Now, where the heck was I? Create tile, draw tile, draw tile. Create tile. Alright, so this thing is hopefully not broken. Unlabeled break must be inside loop or switch. Ah, it's actually a for each. Okay, so return will do this. Okay, so that's not broken. But I was going to look for the code that I accidentally destroyed. So this is just doing placement.x, placement.y. Oh, so I've already offset these. Well, what if I offset these in? Tile width, tile height. That might work. Actually, I'm not entirely sure about that. Because that was trying to do a one-to-one correspondence. This is not going to be tile width. This is going to be something we have to calculate. Do I have that formula anywhere here? This is going to be, it's going to depend on chords.z a little bit. So what is the size of one box? Well, I'm so allergic right now. I've already gone through my water. I'm going to be back in a few minutes. I would have expected to inherit the next screen from the profile and profile save, but I might have to actually define it here.
Why?
The hell's in this room?
I think it's like a test room.
Yeah, look. Security cameras moving. You got anything weapon-wise? Ain't got shit.
Got this AK and that big minigun, but to be honest, that minigun's kind of crap.
I may need to turn my music down. I can't. Oh wait.
Alright. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Got the first touch to end the match there. Ooh, and I get MVP. Very nice. Whoosh. Take off. There it goes. I like that MVP award. There it is. I had all 3 goals. The hat trick was on me. I carried that.
Oh, this is nice. I'm using this. Oh, I'm using this. I have the most sparkly baton in the history of sparkly batons. I am the ultimate alien majorette. Look at this.
Who gave you that?
Yes, I got this somehow.
Right click. Right click.
Oh, that's nice. But I have a sparkly Mrs. Briz, I have a sparkly. Oh my goodness. It's so sparkly. Oh, I feel like a pretty princess. Yay!
What is going on with Lost Prophet?
It's so sparkly, you guys.
Alright, welcome back. Alright, so we have chords.z. At 32, we would have cell size be 256. So is that going to be chords.z? That would be 32 minus 24. Math.pow2. All right, what are we doing right now? We're doing each placement at a tile width. This is a very slightly tweaked MacVim Dark. And I'm probably going to have to do something with these X's and Y's. Alright, so I've been using key placement pixel. If we put this in and... oh, this thing is still crunching. How far are we? Actually, it's over here. No, not you. Wow. As we get to lots and lots of files, this... is expanding data size? Size on disk, yeah, from all the file overhead. So maybe I don't want to do that. So the awkward thing here now... well, I guess I'm only looking at one of these. Is that we're kind of writing to this. So you're probably this one. It's doing something on 44. Let's start 44. I guess I didn't consider just how long it would take to run this all the way out. Which makes me less enthusiastic about about that. Okay, so that's the size of the tile. How... well, could we just trust the operating system to copy stuff? And O3N, think of the follow. So right now we've got key place. Okay, so that's adding up to quite a bit. Yeah, one copy of it wasn't too bad. All of those copies... alright, maybe pre-divided files isn't going to be so good. Which means I have to do math. Maybe for some of the time logs, it makes sense to go a little bit farther. So I guess there's no real reason to remove that that code. I could even leave some of the directory placeholders in there. Which actually means you're fine. I'll eventually want to run that with the placeholder and set that up. But that means when we draw, I need to be able to I guess for now we'll just have to double fetch it and count on the local browser cache. And then we might want to centralize that somewhere. So get tile URL chords. We need to turn those chords into the chords we actually want. So sprite. Let's just go up to 1 higher. And then try to look at that and see what it thinks about it. So we're going to have those chords. So that is a pixel point to lat long. Point northwest. Northwest. Guess not the chords.x. So that's an actual like world coordinate pixel location. For this tile size. We can translate that to a lat long and then sort of go back. Could probably do something directly with coordinates just because of stuff dividing down. So if we're at chords 24 and we want to go to chords 20, well, no, if we're at zoom 25, we want to go to zoom 24. Well, I guess it's going to be far I was going to say we could just set the Z, but you want to use that Z here. Unless your data core is just going to be 24. We need to know the difference. So the delta z is going to be that, and then we need, oh, I guess that's roughly this, isn't it? And then that's what you divide by? And then the only question is we're going to have to do this in integer space. Does JavaScript have integer division, or do I just have to round? Yeah, math floor. So if that is the default answer for how you do that, and we may have to look at different like rounding modes or whatever. And then we want to get tile URL. Now this is the ugly part, because then we have to not only we have to get this data, but we then have to figure out what our section in it is. Oh, but you're in world coordinates. We have a start x, start y. I need... No, I need my other corner. So I know when to cut them off as well. So that's a map. I actually need to do a filter first, I guess. Don't I do that in some of the other things? Point overlay. Alright, point northwest, point southeast. So we do that. I don't need origin here. Alright, so we're going to kind of go in here. That's the same. So it's a different order. Oh. Southeast. Now, I was just offsetting by these. So hopefully this is fine. Oh. Since these are converted to relative coordinates, you then just have to worry about cell size isn't quite right. That's the number of pixels across. What is the number of tiles? Well, it's tile width divided by cell size, I guess. And then is a placement. Oh, that could actually be a negative xy. It's a 4-part condition. We don't. The thing it's between is. I think probably less than index. And this is why I was thinking, if you could just break it into different zoom tiles, wouldn't this be so much easier? So we haven't even split it yet. I don't have a good place to get in here and get a count on this. And if we just zoom way in, so we hopefully don't have too much of this. So we've got cell size, we've got tile at key place. Whoa, whoa there. This probably going to break a bunch. Oh, yeah, we copied some stuff with padding. You're not useful. From here, if we go to padding, all right, 1090. Oh, I didn't have a use for tile width here, huh? Oh, tile size. Okay, we're only looking at one tile. It's at -2, -120. All right, we only went to 25, so we might have a few more of these out here. So I think there's only 2 objects in there, huh? No, I think there's none. Why did I print 2? Alright, so what are our range? Alright, -256, 255 to -128, 127. That seems reasonable. So which data cords did we get? And we got -1, -1 at 24. Seems fine. Oh, not, it wouldn't be index. This is cell width. Because we've already done this. And yet there's still nothing. Oh, you're a bunch of negatives. Wait. Yeah, so now it's way too much stuff. Oh, right, because we're doing stuff that's in the middle. But that should be filtered out here. There's more negatives. I mean, that should just be off this tile, so that's fine. So why is my filter barked up? This is going to be a little bit hard to read. And I'm going to totally leg out the browser. Oh. What? Why didn't I get this error before? All right, we're looking for something. We're looking to make sure that there are things that are true, true, true. And I don't know why this is false. I mean, the negatives I understand. Alright, so cell width is borked. These are incredibly spammy. Okay, and this tab is dead. The debugger is completely backlogged. Oh, now I don't know where that town was. Oh, Nan, you say? What the heck? Which suggests that tile size is actually not set. Pardon? Ah, oh, tile size is an object, jeez. We were just doing one of these. Pick one. Hey, we have objects. And particularly a lot of objects. And a completely borked up placement algorithm. I mean, you can almost see some patterns in there, but we're just not even... Actually, this looks like it might be quarters. Like we're not properly accounting for the doubling of size. Alright, so now we're in the draw side of things. Okay, we're still printing out stuff. Oh, cell size 1, cell size 2. So this theoretically does both 25 and... Oh. Yeah, because 24 actually looks sort of reasonable. And then we're not properly accounting for something when we go down to this setup. So this was XY in world coordinates. Is it that simple? There's 25. All right, so now that we have that worked out, I don't know. I mean, it might eventually be more useful to have this go down farther. Is this being reasonable? I mean, this should be completely in the browser cache. I hope it's in the browser cache. We may have to do our own little cache later or something. Okay, so now we've got a thing where we can actually draw. Why are objects moving around? That's a little bit disturbing. Now, I thought these were final placements, not logs. Oh, maybe I'm doing some overdraw on the edges. But then why would the colors change? It should be the same data, right? It seems right. You're up by tile size. I'll have to figure out that coordinate and look at it later, I guess. All right, so that was enough of a trial. And can this go farther? And ultimately going to want it to go farther. The farthest we've gone so far is 29. Let's see. Box rendering with all right, now what we really want to do is have some sort of image cache. If we have object IDs, if I've been treating them as numbers so far, it could be an array. And then when we go through all this stuff, all right, so we currently have been doing this here. Oh, does for each return a value? 1, 2, 3. No. Almost. The other things that are visible is fine. And I guess I could sort of do it in the filter function. Palisment again. If not... Oh, there were some of those odd, super big objects, which we're not going to be able to find. All right, new image. We just need to know if you're loaded. This is going to be fairly spammy itself. What the heck do we have here? Well, I guess I still have image in scope. What properties do we have to work with here? So we've got static, sprites, obj. Placement. Okay, so it's an image. There were a lot of objects on there, all right. Does it already have some kind of loaded property I can use? Complete true. So to a certain extent, I want to know that everything that needed to be loaded is... So you really want to set up like a promise, not promise exactly, but a counter of these things. And I just want to do that just in case. Oof. Okay, it does take a while. Oh, because they're all happening in parallel. So maybe one tile. And there's also no trigger condition for when we got to the bottom of this and there was nothing. Oh, plus, if there's multiple tiles, well, no, because they should be looking at the same thing, but some of the images might not be loaded. So we really can't do this. We have to say, well, so we should have already checked the not case here. If object object images what are we actually doing here? This might actually need to be a for loop, because I can pretty much abort as soon as I find an incomplete image. If object images placement.id dot complete, and really this is going to be a thing that we have to come back to. If it's not complete, then we bail. I don't know what their polling time should be. And if all of that is... If we get through here without bailing, then we're ready. Okay. So in theory, we have images we can use now. The first step, this is probably not going to be very pretty. And it was draw image, image, coordinates. Da, 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 da. Object images. And it was, I probably should have copied this. You know, we're originally going to want to do this as more of a scaled thing. Because that's a mess. That's apparently empty space, or something's messed up. I guess the closer in you zoom, the more, well, we're not zoomed in enough. All right, so we need canvas, draw image. This might just be scaling operations. Okay, so there is a width and a height. Actually, interestingly enough, I might be able to do some scale. I might be able to do scaling. So really, for that, what we should do is context.push, just to be safe. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have to do this or the opposite of this. Okay, so what are our other methods? Oh, save and restore. Requires at least 2 arguments. Okay, it's per direction. That looks like we zoomed up, if anything. That also looks like we zoomed up. I might still have to be doing some image sizing, though. They just disappear. Well, okay, we're just getting up into the corner. Hey, Gamer Rick. So maybe scale doesn't work with images. Well, okay, so what we want to do, what if we said it was just 1, 1? And maybe I also have to be considering other, NS error not available. Alright, I wish I knew which image it was complaining about. Well, that's an exception. So somewhere there's a bad object. Oh, ID nan. Yeah, let's just filter that out, shall we? There's probably a floor or something. Placement.id. What is the... Global nan. Is nan. And that will allow these to line up. Typo. So I don't think I actually want to do some of these farther out views quite this way. Oh, I did define this as max zoom. Well. So this... Oh, also I'm putting these into one by one boxes, so the trees and everything are going to be off. This might be a little bit silly. Yeah, so I don't have any good object size information. But it looks like I do have to specify some sort of size. So that's like a little camp. So that's all property fence in various states. There's a bear in town. Appropriate for the end of the age. It's not my game. This is Jason Rohr's game. And just like making maps and mods and things. Okay, I had a feeling this was all bone piles. I didn't realize this is wood. And... man, somebody died up here and launched all their stuff up. Ooh, they were digging up all the floors. Yeah, bears may have figured into this a little bit. Alright. So, at Zoom 26, what I probably want to do is I need images or objects at different levels of zoom. So at some point it is turning like a pixel. Oh, Those were wider, so they got squished. Can I fix the scaling here? Does this thing have properties? I should probably do this. I guess I can actually go back to the onload, huh? So I do it once. Natural width and natural height. So many events. Okay, there's also a width and a height. That must be displayed. I guess natural is what I really care about. However, since I scaled this, would that be divided by? Yep. Alright, this one over here. Natural width divided by cell size. Inch dot natural height divided by cell size. Oh, and that does not scale well. Why does that not scale well? Maybe I have to go the other way? No, that... I mean, it's scaling in the right direction, but too much. And kind of backwards. So I was doing 1-1 here. Oh, but cell size keeps... Cell size keeps getting smaller, so the images keep getting larger. That should just be the ratio between the... Well, cell size keeps getting smaller. But this was... Actually, this is working at 1-1. So does this... Standard cell size? That sort of works. Wonder why this gets cut off. Maybe it's the edge of a tile. Which, yeah. So trees are a problem. Because they can potentially go over tile boundaries. I also suspect everything's being placed in its center right now. These actually seem surprisingly right. Bear cave with bear. Last player caused change. Oh, and you see the bear everywhere. It's a bloody bear, I guess. All the banana peels that haven't decayed. Yeah, so the bears aren't really a true image because it's only where a player interacted with it. Likewise, fires. Oh yeah, somebody picked up a horse. I don't know if they dropped it. Maybe it ran around. All right, so trees are going to be a big problem. So we actually kind of need to overdraw. But what I don't have also, and we want to sort for draw order. For a tile-based system, we're going to have to, well, this is kind of why I was thinking of keeping things at the other tile size. It's just that it becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger image as you zoom in. And you still have to overdraw, which is not something I'm allowing for in my tileization right now. Oh, yeah. I probably need to just go back to dots at this point, because that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, 25. Yeah, okay, so image drawing is not useful at this level. So 24, no good. It's like you can almost see something, but this is, I'm actually surprised. Well, I'm actually where am I console logging right now? Are we constantly hitting new object IDs? It's like this almost can do something. Actually, I think 25 is where I had the screenshot-based thing, but that was a fully composted image. Yeah, I mean, maybe what I might want to do is actually do a couple of levels of zoom, and like only do permanent objects at the higher levels. Because like there's lots of little stuff on the ground you're not really going to be able to see. But that's going to require object data I don't have right now. That also gets into the overdraw problem. Okay. So one of the phenomenon we had, well, before, it was probably because I was actually upscaling the berry bushes, so that you were seeing the pixelated version of them. Yeah, these all get compressed down to that. Oh, actually, I might need to do... Because one of the things I did... just image canvas, you know, everything. I probably don't want this for the image layers. I don't know how to do a negative assertion, which means every other layer needs to get like manually tagged with that class. Okay, yes, and in fact, the object placement is completely off. So just, I think canvas defaults to center, which I mean holds up surprisingly well, but we really want to figure out where those offsets are. All right, that is a proof of concept. And actually, well, that's a proof of concept. So that is image loading. All right, to make this... Okay, there's a couple things. Create arc placement layer. I'm debating whether to have two placement layers or do another group. Because we've got this, and we've got pixel, which probably... I might take you down to there. Max native zoom is 24. Oh, but if you're 25, this would really just be 24. And if I got decent colors, it might be okay. Like 24 is actually not so great for this. I mean, performance-wise, it might still not make great for it. Actually, I almost had to zoom in on... let's have a quick look at this again. Because I think I almost had to zoom in for that layer to be useful. Oh no, max zoom. You was originally like 29. Well, of course, I added 31. I'm not even possible to zoom in 31. Because my map is still set to 29. So that's 24, which is already But I guess having a full pixel of that is possibly better than doing that. Oh, and I've still got to print somewhere. Yeah, so this is... You can't even make out town structures at this. So that is definitely not useful at 24. You can almost see some stuff here. I think this works out a little bit better when it's pre-composted in the actual screenshots. Plus, I have the image rendering stuff I could maybe play with. Well, to make this look better, you would actually have to like super sample the canvas a little bit, which could be done. We can like sort of see some of the fences. So really this 25 needs to be 25, maybe 26. Needs to be like a permanence only layer. That's not really giving you... it's telling you kind of where trees are. Alright, so let's assume we do this. So you go 24, 25, and you're 26 on. Oh, maybe it's like reusing the canvas objects? What the heck? I mean, it's kind of cool in the sense that I can go, oh look, purple's a wolf. It's like it's reevaluating my max zoom every time. Huh. And that actually worked out. So it's not that the higher layer is disappearing, but it's like blinking on the lower layer. I wonder if it's a problem with max native zoom versus max zoom. But that's like really not good. No, it's still showing up. Why are you drawing that layer? Point overlay, point overlay. That's grammatical. Result points. Create tile, draw tile. Update tiles, I think is only the pixel overlay. Why do you keep re-adding that? Okay, so we can a couple states, yeah, there's a couple different states of berries in there. So I mean that's cool in a sense, but I guess it worked with the screenshot layer before because that one was behind and didn't obscure anything. Maybe it has something to do with being down a couple layers of layer group. So I might have to do something more explicit with that. But right now, this is just absolutely unusable. So I will have to, well, we can force this a little bit. And we can read its own max zoom property, so we don't have to hard code it. If chords O it only needs to create the higher one because it's max native zoom. Yeah, so I can't actually read the display zoom level. Well, I can read the maps zoom level probably. Although if it's not calling create tile, map. Tile zoom. I guess I could change the layer's opacity to 0 below that. I might just have to do my own manual zoom management. Getting map state. Get zoom. Okay. Pardon. L is undefined in... Oh. Init tile, add tile, add class. Oh, I actually have to return something from that, don't I? But, yeah, it never created these. It thinks it did. And let me guess. Oh. So was it recreating those? Interesting. All right, what the heck am I console logging right now? Wait. Oh yeah, these are the garbage IDs. Gotta ask about those sometimes. Well, we knew it was like around 3,000-ish objects. If not isnan... So what's curious is that it actually does stop it from making a new layer there. But then it caches that when it comes back out here. So this actually sounds like a leaflet bug, really. But I don't know how to stop you from... well, I can change the opacity of it so it's at least not visible, but it might be that the layer group gets added. In which case I'd have to start manually managing all of the sublayers. I'd essentially have to manage max in and min zoom myself. All right, so that wasn't easy. What else was I thinking of? I had some other little thing. Oh. That means I have no intermediary object layer. That just looks awful. Oh, right, I don't have any floor stuff going on yet. So the other, well, one of our obstacles is object alignment. We need object dimensions. We need filtered lists for different zoom levels. I need to, which means it's not always, for every level we're going to have to define the data zoom that it uses. Because we want to draw more detailed canvases. We don't necessarily want to fetch more detailed stuff. Do I even leave this layer group in here? Okay, we did that. We sort of have that. One tech. Probably tiled, yes. One tech is workable if we can get the offset data. We have. Do we need levels of detail? Do we want sprite sheets? I want to take a break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, is this a ceremonial murder shirt? Dress me up, stand me in the swamp, fail to kill me before.
Okay, we're getting a lot of iron. That's good to see. We're finding a whole bunch in this outside area. Okay, we could get down here and use this. Anybody have any recommendations for the neural vacillator?
I hear there's a Time Lord here. I think that's pretty awesome. As a Dark Lord, the Time Lord is the only thing I fear in the universe today. I mean, and this is a universe that includes reruns of Jersey Shore and Khloe Kardashian. So, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to fear, and the only thing I fear is Time Lords. I'm telling you, that's the only thing to fear. Not even fear itself, because fear is like my third cousin. You know, he's kind of the stupid one that wears the helmet, you know, just in case. Because he's really klutzy. You know, he's always tripping over his own big feet. But that's my family problems, and I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay? Because I'm not here to get into that. I'm here to talk about Amazon Prime, because I'm a total...
Yeah, 16.
I know unless you see how long that is, it's quite different.
Yeah, That's why when people write messages, it takes, like, you instantly speak, but obviously it takes that length of time to get back to the person. And some people don't understand that that happens. So when you're speaking to people...
Alright, welcome back. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. That was the other easy thing. Image rendering CSS. Alright. What do we do here? Okay, I don't want to do that. All that really did was shuffle some stuff around. But it's still a checkpoint. Oh, notes. Glitch with max zoom on object pixel layer. Between pixel and sprite keeps flashing on above. All right, image rendering. Now, unfortunately, the way we have to do this is we have to arrange we have to tag every single layer. I don't know. Is there such a thing as a negative selector? Negative. No. No. How about exclude class? The not selector. How do we could you say not well, these are images. Well, no. So even if I get this to work, you're still going to have these tile boundaries that are going to look weird. It won't look as bad on that particular thing, I think. I don't think it affects the images there because those are pretty drawn to the canvas. But it does affect the canvas itself. Not very direct. So I think you can do that. I don't know if that's any better. Unfortunately, the way I always noticed this was when you had things like these images bumping up against each other. Can't really suffer any better rendering there or not. That doesn't feel terribly different. Of course, I guess I don't know if that selector worked. And those things are full image. How about... That's pretty noticeable. Uh... Maybe it's... Oh, it's filter blur. Except it's not. Oh, pff. Typo. Does it not work with the rest of this stuff? And of course I've got that things there, so I can't... Oop. Block comment it. Oh, so that's directly against the blur effect, huh? Okay. Alright, well now we know... Right, because these are being drawn onto a canvas, but the canvas itself should be getting blurred? Because I've been drawing stuff into canvases. And I'm just not... Well, maybe there's a halo? Nope. That's so weird. Because these things are canvases as well. I don't see how that's any different. Well, that seems to imply that all of this stuff wasn't applying to that layer anyway. Okay, we just altogether removed that. Check out public. I don't get it. Or maybe it's only visible at the... when it's... well, the image rendering, I believe. The blur is... bizarre. Right? Maybe that's just... maybe that actually wasn't blur. That was just turning off the image sharpness. Okay, image offsets. Where are we going to get image offsets from? Well, there's image offsets, and then there's the whole overdraw problem. So there we actually have two LODs. We actually have sprite LODs and data LODs. But data LODs rely, for one thing, on permanent. We've got... let's come down here. Sprite offset. We've got... sprites over tile edges. Which means we need to overdraw in a tiled world. For the close-in views, we just select more of it. And I might have something in mapping. Which actually was not quite enough. That tells me how much I was overdrawing. Because it's actually kind of having a bigger impact on visuals than the actual positioning. No, this is code. Living life page. Oh man, I don't remember where this is anymore. Where we fetch that server. We process match chunks. Living life page. Somewhere in here we do our startup process. Does that mean fetching the data? So for biomes, for begin screenshot map poll, fill map chunk. Alright, so we did X, Y, and I think size X, size Y, and offset by half of that. And for the bottom side, that size Y was not enough. So it's two tiles either way. You could maybe imagine that being for like a tree, or I don't know if anything's actually that big. Maybe I noticed that, well, yeah, you could be two tiles to either side. And I was actually cutting off the tops of this in some of my screenshot layers. So we need at least another +1 on that. So the loop here. Okay, I was modifying some existing code that made it very, very confusing. We do end up doing size x, size y off of an xy with an offset, and so that's like two. Do we really need 3 up? Probably just offsetting that y by 1 would, in the correct direction, because it's usually going to be tall objects coming up, would fix it. Interesting that he did the bubble around the mosquito art. I'm assuming that's mosquitoes because it's jungle. Maybe there's some. Well, the ring would have to be transparent too. All right, so there's a couple aspects to the sort of overdraw or over render. Actually, yeah, that could work. All right, so when we're figuring out what we want out of this stuff, chords.x, so our padding is going to be kind of particular. And only if it has the bounds objects that would give you all of the appropriate coordinates. So padding up might only be 1. Well, 2 because it was 3. Down has to be 4. I might be using these for 2 different things. For a couple different things in different places. Is going to be minus padding x. All right. Southeast. Oh, no, this is y. This is tile coordinates multiplied. So in leaflet speak, that is actually, this is the northwest corner. So we go out there, and then we go back. Padding y. And southeast. Plus padding x. Plus padding y. Padding up. Padding down. Start X and end X. So our start and X are sort of right for what they are. Only I can't use 0 anymore. So actually, I was doing that in those coordinates. So that's sort of... that's the offset by the actual coordinate. Oh, well, these are in tiles here. So I don't necessarily need to do it up this side. So we need the offset that is at that coordinate, and then, well, since this is for fetch range, so this would be from negative padding X to is this the only thing I use cell width for? Yes. But then I need a cell height as well. And this is plus padding X. This is almost more of an edge. Now, is this up or down? In world coordinates, this is actually going to be padding down, and then you're going to be padding up. So those names aren't great anymore. All right, and we come down here. The canvas can overdraw. That should be fine. The start X, start Y. Some of those will be negative. What did I use you for? I didn't. Because I pre-translated it. Okay, so in theory, we're doing a lot of extra drawing, but we're not seeing as much with the ugly edges anymore. Now, the other thing I'm going to have to do probably is sort my coordinates. But we're not seeing the hard cutoffs anymore. And we're going to have to work on where things are placed. It's like these are weirdly positioned for some reason. Well, maybe everything is bottom corner. It just hasn't been so obvious. Like most things seem to be doing okay. So there's also on the walls it was really obvious. Of course, I can't see that stuff now. Okay, yeah. So these need some drawing offsets. It's weird because most things seem to end up towards the center of their tile. Maybe I'm actually drawing here and not realizing it. So this would really be a thing to do once we get the data set up. So remove the stuff we don't care about. I'm pretty sure we have a format for this. Or we have a sort function. Compare function. And compare function, or to strings. Compare function is not supplied. Non-undefined elements is less than 0. Sort A to an index lower than B. All right, so A, if A dot, A dot Y minus B dot Y equals 0, then we do stuff with X. Now, do I want A dot Y minus B dot Y or A dot B dot Y minus Y? If in world coordinates, where's our example? If in world coordinates I'm not sure what the way this lines up with the fences. If in world coordinates call a fence A and the tree B. B is, call this 0, call this 1. If A minus 1 is negative 1, that says, negative 1 says put A first. So you'd want to do B minus A. And for consistency, and then B dot X minus A dot X. Okay. Now we're still going to have artifacts near the edge of data tiles. Which I don't know where my tiling is though. Okay, so these are still wrong. How is that? How is that still wrong? Because our fence got fixed. But those appear to be at different y coordinate. Okay, yeah, something's not right about our positioning here. So I guess my glitchy box layer might tell me something about where the objects are. This is actually the positioning problem. So that's suggesting that that's being placed there. What? Maybe it just happened to pick the same background color. I'm like seeing two things here. Is this like two tiles overlapping? This thing must just be an orange color. Or are you actually up here and being drawn down? Oh. Oopsie. So I guess it has its uses. Yeah, all the trees are upper left. So all objects are being put at upper left corner. Which probably explains some of that overlap problem. So I guess properly speaking, for this kind of analysis, we should really just make this go there. All right, so I actually think that fixed the layering problem. Sprite offsets. Okay, I actually didn't put that in my notes. Oh, we've only fixed the intertile problem. I was looking for other stuff, but this is... so sprite offsets. This has been reduced to data tile edges. We need to oversample that. Fix. Sprites. Over subtile edges. All right, in order to properly process the rest of this stuff, we need to look at... we are placing objects. So in these coordinates, I guess I'm actually going to want... well... oh, I've already got width and height. It's for the tile. Now, until we get proper offsets, there's no necessarily good way to do this. So we probably want to do center X almost always. Not necessarily like horse carts. And so it's currently putting the top of the image at the top of the tile. We want to go minus image height and plus cell size? Well, that's just one. Okay, that's apparently too much on the... Or maybe you're plus? No. That seems to put everything on the edge. Oh, minus image width plus 2 plus cell size divided by 2. Oh, not cell size. This is just 0.5. So that'll hopefully work for more objects. Oh. That is still a draw ordering problem, though. Oh, maybe that other thing was actually a draw issue and I got it backwards. Yep, we got it backwards. Now, I don't actually know offhand what the game's XY rule is. Okay, that'll fix you. So much stuff. Oh, that actually fixed the walls pretty good. Now, I'm sure that there are objects that have other offsets. Like horse cart. But that's a pretty good default. Oh, you can actually sort of see that that bellows there. Something hiding back here. You know, at some point it might be interesting to do a thing that looks for small objects behind tall objects. You'd have to make like a list of tall objects, but it's like, hey, show me all the hidden objects on the map. Oh, well, there's unfortunate coloring. Should put the same color as fences. Just about. Does that affect anything here? Sprite offsets. We still want exact sprite offsets, but this makes it not terrible. So now what I need is a way to find tile edges, or data tile edges. And here's one way to do that. Okay, fix this. Better default sprite position. If we remove that, are these layers going to get blurred the heck out, except near tile boundaries? So yeah, you can see a little bit of cutoff there. Oh, here's the other edge. Not a whole lot nearby. It's like, yeah, see, so yeah, there's a tree that's cut off. And what's actually like doing some alpha blur here? So this actually goes back. Where is? And I might actually want, because there was that weird object in the corner of one of the towns. Is this what I was looking at? It was like changing on me. Oh, maybe that was like a nan or a incorrect object, because I'm not seeing it anymore. It was being handled differently. We're not doing anything with floors yet. Is that it's the spent row? Okay. I guess really we're not even using the images right now. So I need to find a boundary. The other direction might be a little bit better, just because you can hit trees. Hidden wolf hat. So we need to oversample when making data tiles. And then my object, well, then my object data for the pixel layer is going to have to ignore those. Oh, they might end up being separate. Because if I'm going to do levels of detail, then the tile size thing well, I don't know if I'm going to have the object pixel might be the same as that. All right, well, for now we can do that. So we have to check. Oh, we decide what tile to put it into based on its coordinate. That's a slightly different thought process than having the world coordinates. I'm going to need to know if it's within the edge. If it's just inside the edge of its tile, so that would be a... so I think you were the small one. We went back to a... Oh, I still haven't updated to this data format. If we have a... This is going to be supremely spammy. And I didn't put these into pairs. Oh, that was the sample, the 2-arc file, apparently. Oh, I left it in... Left the code in there. I didn't actually change it back to do this properly. All right, so we see a bunch of numbers. So we need to say... Oh, this could go into up to 8 different tiles. Well, each object is only going to have one alt tile. But we need to know if we were in that range. So like if tx is less than or equal to 2, then we would go to a new tile. Sadly, it's going to be the same stuff. Then it's... Tile width. So this is the width. So 256. 256 is not a coordinate we want. We want to go back greater than or equal to 255, 254. Yeah, that sure that works. I have to process this separately for each. I almost need like a separate variable so I can check whether we did either of these. Oh, no, because yeah, it matters for both of them. Now which way does this go? In game coordinates. The one that goes tile. Oh. Since these are inverse tile coordinates, that's going to be backwards. The one that takes me a leaflet tile up is going to be the wider gap. Does that make sense? The y-coordinate positive. Oh, could you be negative? So that actually works out better. I know you've got Ruby set up. I mean, IRB would probably be fine. Probably. We want to know if we take -1 Is that right? There's a sense in which that's right. For edge detection, it's fine. We just have to consider what that means for... It means it's in world coordinates, we're always positive up. So we need to be looking... No, actually, at the large numbers. It's the top of a tile. This makes this suspect. So I'm going to have to find... Let's see, is there a place on the map that has a jungle on a border? Because you really need... Unfortunately, Final State, they probably cut down a lot of jungle trees. Yeah, maybe they planted some too. We really need to have that jungle tree in just the right spot. I mean, there's one of these trees, which is big-ish. There's not a whole lot of boundaries in here. Here's one. This might be about the best test I'm going to get right now. This might only be 2 tiles up, though. And then I'm going to have to, well, we have to be able to run this. Oh, right, because we're printing stuff out. Undefined method plus. Arr? My other thing had the capitals. I have to remember if this did anything. I mean, it will just be double work if it didn't do anything. Because it'll be 0, 0. It will just rewrite itself. This will matter more when I'm breaking up things by timestamp. And you have the timestamped events. That could include it twice. So I could remember the differences and add. And then I can just compare this against 0. Or I can set this to tile and then compare it to the other tile. And if over x not equal to 0 or over y not equal to 0. All right, so that might be able to fix the objects, and things could get a little bit weird. Nope. All right, are we ever doing this? Oh, wait, but this is not the, this is a different data set. Okay, so we got lots of 0, -1, 0, -1. Okay, but this is a different data set. In fact, this is where we might want to do, because we had this little directory. So that means this can conceivably have, yeah, y up to y negative 4. So now we do this for all maps, or all arcs. Now, if I ever do zoom levels, this I'm going to have to figure out how I manage that. So we think this is going to actually replace you, just in case we need that zoom. And we had this in another project. Key placements time, it is, I don't really have the means to properly handle Z currently. And the tiled stuff is going to be trying to fit our coordinate in there. Well, we're already somewhat managing that. What does that look? Yep, it's same thing. What does that look like? Where are we doing? Get tile URL for chords. We're only drawing chords down to there. So you'd be fine. Sprite would not. Oh, but we're already doing data chords. So we could actually do this. Okay, and we totally broke something. Oh, did I actually? 24. Or did I accidentally hit config.example? Which I don't think I've even touched. Nope, haven't touched yet. Where's the path? Nan. Nan? Maybe I wasn't even filling in the coordinates. Data chords, Z. Pardon me. How about I need to take these one layer at a time, so I know which one is getting messed up here. Okay, so you seem to be doing an and thing. So Pixel. Oh, is the template not Z? No. There's the Z right there. What the heck? This dot get zoom for URL, which we didn't need before. Nope. I'm probably missing some default properties. Leaflet. That's a different get zoom. Oh, because it's a private function. Okay. This dot tile zoom. Max zoom. Zoom, zoom, offset. So this thing is defining defaults for some of this stuff. Somewhere. False, undefined, that'll be fine. What is tile zoom? Clamp zoom. Oh man, there's like a whole bunch of stuff in here. Min native, max native, min native, max native. Oh man, this calls so many things. I'm gonna have to actually duplicate these. Like, shouldn't this be in grid layer? Maybe it is in grid layer. Oh, yeah, this is in grid layer. So, we should already have that function. And we got this in set view, which is also already... Oh, but that is this dot tile zoom, this dot tile zoom. Maybe we just need zoom offset? Because it's a plus? No. Okay. Tile layer. Actually, are you a... No, you're already grid layer. I already got this. You're just not giving me what I want. All right. Is it A or B? Is that because I broke something? Or because it's... Get zoom for URL. Oh, tile layer is grid layer extend. Okay, I got that confused. So I do need get zoom for URL. Okay. And sprite. Also, oh, but it doesn't have zoom offset. All right, now what the heck was I doing? Oh. Wait, why are you doing 27? Yeah. Because they call get zoom for URL. Completely ignoring the Z we pass in. It's just current zoom. So I may have to duplicate these functions after all to make them behave. This dot tile zoom. Yeah, so it's like the tile is at a different thing. We just have this special fetch for... so what are we doing? We're taking our tile zoom, our max zoom, our reverse. If it's reverse, it's just max zoom minus zoom, which we're not using. Otherwise, Which means if it's reverse, oh no, it's that reverses it and then adds the offset, which we're not using. So my duplication of this is just going to pass Z. Well, tile zoom is what makes it respect the minimum maximum. Well, this is a cinch. Oh, this uses a bunch of internal functions. It uses at least one internal function. Template and extend. Maybe those are exposed somewhere? Inverted, inverted. Do they expose template? Because that's really all we need here. If we're doing explicit fetches. Well, tile zoom. Template. Util. L.util.template. So we've got get tile URL. Which I think I can kind of skip most of this for our use case. I also do need to have one extra thing in here. And there's extend. Now their data was the X, the Y, subdomains. The chords is fine. Source object into dest object. So we actually do have to have a thing to put this into. That's what I called it, right? Now you don't actually need get tile URL, which means you don't need get subdomain or get zoom for URL. At present. Okay, we have a different error now. Extend, yep, l.util. A different error now. I definitely felt some lag there. Okay, and we were watching trees. Aha. Now, we're still going to have to keep an eye out for if we get an example of a jungle tree that we can take a look at. Perhaps in a different time set. Yep. So this is actually that one. Okay. Wow, they really cleared out the jungles in this one. Well, there were no... People don't go there very often. I guess we're loading a bunch of new images? Or rendering, or... Yeah, there were not many... Oh, jungle trees are only going to show up if they were cut for rubber. Or grown. I don't really know if they were cut for rubber. Or rubber... Yeah, the latex trees. These have a lot more around. But you're not... Oh. Okay. So our sub-select condition is off here. This looks like a 1-2, so I'm taking that the wrong direction. Or... No, you can't actually draw on the wrong canvas. So this means I'm using up and down incorrectly. Right, I'm defaulting to my other thing. Okay, that seems to have fixed you. Okay, here's one that's part way over. It just has to be like this perfect setup. Or a rubber tree is actually, no, actually down here. In order to see if it works. And of course you don't see that because it's not a natural object. Or because it's not a... You only see it when somebody's cut the rubber tree. So it's not a common occurrence. All the bears, however, they've been woken up. Got a real good map of all the bears. Well, I guess they didn't get as many yet out here. Okay, that looks like an error. Oh, you know what? This code has not been adjusted for having those other placements. But why would it show up at all? Oh, because we're going into a data array. So we need to add something like this. To the pixel render. You don't have padding, so we're just going to be 0, 0. And you have width and height. We're seeing this on a different map, and it probably applies to all of them. Okay, yeah, here is the stuff out in the white. We were going, what the heck is going on? Alright, so in one of these we did see a jungle tree that was mostly over. Ooh, a whole bunch of swap trees. And then they never got to doing those. Well, it goes through some jungle. People were getting the rubber from somewhere else. See, can I see the... Yeah, I can kind of see the brakes. Get the tips of those trees. Oh, there's the oil well. That's probably something that needs a custom alignment as well, because it kind of sits off to one side. Oh, there was another boundary down here, right? Yeah, there it is. Yep, no big objects there. Alright, I guess I'll have to call that good for now. Notes. Sprites over detail edges. What do we have set up here? We've got our style, so we can see our boundaries. And I probably should do like a grid drawing layer sometimes so I can find those easier. We are always displaying colors. I think we had leaflet source on. I'm not surprised the forge is firing, although, yep, it got offset because of that being on it. So they must have actually taken the charcoal out of this one. Oh, I know. Well, one step at a time. I think that's an okay stopping point for that change. Oop, console.log chords. Because I don't necessarily need the zoom offset anymore all the time. So our main thing here was to fix data tile sprite cutoff, which is partly the thing for here. Zoom paths. Data for overdraw. Assuming we maintain this. Actually, we've got it here. We're going to maintain this method of getting images and stuff. Offsite, one tech. I need to do something. I need to do something better with this. Because, I mean, we're not, it's like we're running this code, we're not using it right now. I mean, I might eventually have to do some customizations that will make it more complicated. So it's like it's one tech, but those are the people who are credited on it. I mean, I don't know if you could link to that. I mean, Leaflet just has a linklet to leaflet.js. All right, sprite layer has an actually, where are we getting? Yeah, there's no configuration for that. That is going to be overwrite that property of that layer. So it's going to be like that plus. I guess we could do a similar thing. So pick one of those. All right, so that's just one icon. It's probably only within my stuff. Yep. Excuse me? Oh, right. Sort of. And one tac dot info, a canonical URL there. That should actually be right. Object images. So we've already got JSON Aurora in here. Oh, actually, the sprite layer already had this attribution in, and actually there was a trailing plus. Oh, other things have this stuff. So it's like, yes, it's in there if you were somehow showing only that layer. Can attribution be an array? String. Hmm. But it's JSON Aurora's art. So that's kind of annoying. I might need to see if there's other ways I can supply attribution, because like anything on here is going to depend on JSON Aurora's work, and the entire map is kind of my work. And other bits are, oop. So these don't line up so nice. Oh, because these things extend down. Probably, yeah. So we need the individual object offsets. Yeah, so we still got a note for it. Oh, what I wanted to look at was So to make sure we actually get the right stuff. Okay, so this looks like a pretty big town. Oh, yeah, I guess you can sort of see some of the walls and some of the roads. That was kind of big town. I was trying to pick an example that lots of people would have seen. This seemed pretty big. So it's a little off, but it's something. Anyway, holy cow, it's late. I guess that was the good kind of cut up and stuff. Yeah, their mossy effect is a little bit more than the game's. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who hosted me. What do we got? And this is about when I tend to be on, so kind of very much in things. I see. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Martin or Martian. Working on some React Native stuff. It's got Geo in it, so maybe some mapping as well. I remember someplace cool to hang out. Someplace cool to hang out. I have noticed some swearing there in the past, so just be advised. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.